this video because I'm about to open everybody's eyes to a lot of shit. In my last video, I mentioned somebody by the name of Sir Lucian Grange. Somebody that's been rumored to sponsor these specific parties as to where these allegations are originating from. But what if I told you it goes way beyond this man in Universal Music Group? And when I say way beyond, I mean way beyond. His name is Leora Cohen. He's the head of music and YouTube and former CEO of Warner Music Group, okay? You know the guy from a couple years ago that was accused of creating gangster rap to fill private prisons by glamorizing criminality? John Homestead, a retired CIA agent a couple years ago, admitted that the CIA was behind the creation of gangster rap in the late 80s and 90s in order to glamorize criminal behavior and fill private prisons. Something that not only Tupac spoke about back in the 90s, but also Kanye in modern day. Do keep in mind, before I go any further, this is for entertainment purposes only, okay? But the former CIA agent said that the CIA worked in tandem with music industry elite to create a funnel in which young people will be indoctrinated with brainwashing gangster rap music, introduced to a life of crime and then delivered to the highly profitable private prison system. And this just so coincidentally took off right after Jay-Z was released from prison back in the 90s. Not saying those two things add up in any way, but boy is that ironic. He also said that some of the biggest names in the music industry are in cahoots with private prison owners, and stating that back in 2021, CoreCivic, formerly known as Corrections Corporation of America, the biggest name in the private prisons industry, contacted 48 states offering to buy their prisons. And supposedly there was one requirement of eligibility for the deal that was particularly strange. An assurance by the agency partner that the agency has sufficient inmate population to maintain a 90% occupancy rate over the term of the contract. Supposedly back in the year 2012, a mere 232 media executives in the US were responsible for controlling all revenues necessary to manufacture for any celebrity and spark any trend. Time Warner, as the owner of Warner Brothers Records, can not only sign an artist, but since they are also the owners of Entertainment Weekly, they can also put an artist on the cover of magazines by next week. Here's the kicker, BET and MTV are owned by Viacom, right? But here's the thing, when ownership of these mass media conglomerates is cross-checked with the biggest names of private prison ownership, things start to get really fishy and sketchy. The largest owner of CoreCivic, formerly Corrections Corporations of America, is Vanguard Group Incorporated. Vanguard is the #1 largest holder in both Viacom and Time Warner. Vanguard is also the largest holder in the GEO Group, the second largest owner of private prisons in the entire USA. Vanguard! Vanguard! Gotta hope I don't get targeted by the CIA or some shit for this fucking video. But you gotta bring awareness! And you know how I told you about Leora Cohen, right? You know, the former CEO of Warner Music Group, the head of music and YouTube? Well, check this photo out. Oh, that's pretty interesting, isn't it? And a music industry executive who was present at the first meeting between the CIA, private prison, and the music industry executives has written a confessional letter detailing exactly what went down on that fateful day. The video has since been deleted. Leora Cohen also joined Google at the end of 2016, having previously acted as the CEO of 300 Entertainment, people. Prior to taking his position at YouTube, though, Cohen worked on the label side of the music industry at companies including Warner Music, like I spoke about, Def Jam, people, Island Def Jam, and 300 Entertainment that I just spoke about. And in his early career, he also gained artist management experience at Def Jam's sister company, Rush Management. Leora Cohen started his career in the music industry supposedly as a manager at the Russell Simmons founded Rush Management. During his first day with the company, he was famously selected to replace Run DMC's missing tour manager. He continued working as a road manager for Run DMC and the Beastie Boys from 1984 to 1987. Cohen stayed with Rush as a manager until 1994, running the company's day-to-day operations and advising such acts as Run DMC, LL fucking Cool J, and Public Enemy. Cohen personally signed artists including A Tribe Called Quest, De La Soul, EPMD, Eric B., Rakim, and Slick Rick. And while still working at Rush Management in 1988, Cohen began his move to the label side of the music business by joining Simmons at Def Jam. He shortly became partners with Simmons, negotiating the label separation from his distributor, Sony. In 1994, the pair negotiated a new distribution deal with Polygram, which was eventually acquired by Universal. Boy, it really makes you wonder what happened to Tupac, right? That man was taking absolutely nobody's shit. But in 1998 and 1999, after the events of which we all know that happened, Cohen brokered the deal to sell Def Jam to Universal, creating the Island Def Jam Music Group, which combined Def Jam, Mercury, and Island Records. And as official president of Island Def Jam then, Cohen was responsible for labels including Rockefeller people, American Records, and Roadrunner Records. Oh, this shit gets deep. Artists under his watch at Island Def Jam included Jay-Z, Bon Jovi, Ludacris, Mariah Carey, and a whole bunch more. And in 2004, Cohen just so happened to be recruited by Warner Music Group and became the CEO and president of recorded music at WMG. He would eventually become chairman of WMG, thus being responsible for all worldwide recording music, including but not limited to Atlantic Records Group, newly founded after the merger of Atlantic Records and Elektra Records, and Warner Bros. Records. He was also in charge of marketing, sales, distribution, catalog marketing, and the digital music business. Cohen is also credited with preparing the label for the music consumption changes due to streaming. And he signed an unprecedented deal with YouTube in 2006 that allowed the site to show videos from Warner's talent roster in exchange for a share of YouTube's revenue. And TikTok wasn't providing any revenue, Kinda makes sense as to why they parted ways, But he left WMG in 2012, co-founding 300 Entertainment with his former Warner Bros. Music and Def Jam colleague Kevin Liles. 300 Entertainment has found success with their past and current sightings, including Migos, Megan Thee Stallion, and YSL Records with Young Thug, Gunna, etc. And he remained in the active role with the company until the end of 2016. It was at the end of 2016 when Lear Cohen was announced as YouTube's global head of music, thus putting Sir Lucian Grange in charge of Universal Music. So God, that ladder really goes up pretty high, doesn't it? But yeah, let's just put all the blame on Diddy, right? There is always a pawn in a bigger chess game, okay? And this chess game evidently should have been folded up back in the 80s. But I guess everybody just loves money, don't they? All I'm gonna say after presenting all this is that this goes way above my safety pay grade. But just know, if you thought you had it figured out, you definitely did not have it figured out. I mean, this shit runs deep. It runs